Hey guys, Steve here. I'm going to be doing a slightly different sort of video today. Had some free time. I had the day off work and I was basically just messing around, punching some counters, and I figured I'd do a little check-in video for late 2019. Now this is going to be kind of a meandering, rambling video. So if you're looking for intense, deep, and detailed board game, war game coverage in this video, watch another video of mine. This is just going to be a very chill chit-chat, I guess, one-sided chit-chat about where the channel has been this year and where I'm going to hope it goes next year. So if you find that interesting or you're a fan of the channel so far and want to listen in, stick around. And what I'm doing is punching some classic World in Flames counters. Now, if you have watched my videos on World in Flames, you might be wondering, well, Steve, you already have World in Flames Deluxe, and you've punched your counters, and you've organized them in the plastic boxes and the whole thing. Well, a while ago, like a year ago, I had purchased another set of classic counters, classic being just the base World in Flames game without the expansions, and I had purchased it with the idea that if I ever wanted to play the classic game, instead of the deluxe with all the expansions and stuff, I wouldn't have to pick through the counters and find the classic stuff. I could just grab my classic counter trays or whatever containing device and be able to play that. And the whole reason I even had that idea was that I could teach somebody new to the system using the less complex classic base game. And then, you know, what ended up happening was that a friend who I had that in mind for ended up joining our full deluxe World in Flames game now, and he's learning the ropes, and it's the School of Hard Knocks, but it's fun. And I had these just laying around for the longest time, and I said, you know what, I'm going to punch them, and I might as well get some discussion out of it as we go. And so I've been working my way through. I punched all of the Germans, all of the Italians. I'm going to do all the Japanese next. There's 8 counter sheets, which isn't very much, but at least compared to the deluxe game, I know 8 counter sheets, not a lot, guys. For World in Flames, it's not, if you're talking about the deluxe stuff. So yeah, so this past year, you know, I did a sort of status video earlier, much earlier in the year, in 2019, and now, you know, we're looking at the end of the year, and I'm looking at 2020 for things to come. And I guess as I reflect back on the year, I'd have to say on a personal level, things are going well for me. You know, I'm keeping very busy, as you guys know, as I say almost every video. I've been keeping busy, having a full-time job and being a husband and a father leaves not a huge amount of time for gaming. Especially gaming where I'm sequestered off by myself with recording equipment in the games and all that stuff. But I think as I look at the rate of videos coming out on the channel, I think I've still managed to produce a fair number of videos on a somewhat regular basis. You know, the challenge for me is, you know, I have long days, the free time is limited. And there are a couple of days of the week, you know, I can spare myself, you know, like an hour or less of free time to try to do recording. So what gaming I do is very concentrated, but in such small little bursts that, you know, that's why you get the, you know, one episode of the Dark Valley series that I have going, you know, every other week or every week when I can, because I'm just in that mode. You know, from the beginning of the year, I think my subscriber count has increased quite a bit, which I really appreciate that. So for the folks who watch my videos regularly, I really appreciate that. We are almost at 450 subscribers, I think, or we're getting kind of close to that. I think it'll be a really big milestone for me personally if we can get to 500. That would be amazing. Already the 400 sum is just, to me, on a personal level, incredible. And I know there are like the YouTubers out there who have like millions of subscribers. I am in such a niche area that, you know, to me, 400 is amazing. So again, I appreciate that, guys, and I hope you continue to keep watching, and that the stuff that's out there on my channel is supportive and helpful for you as you're looking at games that you're interested in or want to become interested in. One of the things I really like and I really appreciate, and it's part of the reason why I keep doing it, is, you know, as the subscriber count is going up, you know, I also have plenty of people who are commenting in the comment section, putting their views or their agreements or disagreements. And I really appreciate that, guys, and I really like that, and that's part of why I even like having the channel, period, is that being able to communicate with the community, being engaged in the community, is really important to me. I don't have a lot of opportunities to play games with a lot of people, and though I have friends who wargame and I attend conventions when I can, I can't always game with those friends and see those people at the conventions that I'm good buddies with. So having, you know, this connection of the community on a personal level is important. And it's just great that, you know, via the internet we can have the conversations that we can have and have the communication that we have. You know, one of the cool things that has happened this year is, you know, since I started the Dark series, where I did the Dark Sands, a complete campaign playthrough, and I've started what amounts to a full campaign playthrough of the Dark Valley, is Ted Racer, the designer, and who's produced a number of war games over the years, has reached out to me in direct messages and has provided guidance and thoughts and stuff for the gameplay, and just, you know, playing a game and in kind of real time as I'm working my way through it week to week, getting correspondence from the designer is awesome. I mean, it's just one of those, like, not quite starstruck, I guess, but just one of those things that is just very cool, that you're interacting to that level, you're able to interact with somebody like that. And I hope I'm lucky enough to have that continue, so as I cover other games out there in the world, you know, I can interact with folks. And I've had, you know, in session reports that I've put on Board Game Geek, you know, I've had designers, you know, jump in and say thanks, or that's, you know, cool, thanks for the session report. That kind of stuff happens pretty often in general, but again, just knowing that designers watching my videos, I mean, that's just very cool, and that they're watching consistently because they like watching their game be played out to the depth and detail that I'm doing my videos, is very cool. And that sort of brings me to the other topic that I thought would be interesting to discuss here, is that, you know, I think now with the Dark series that I did and other videos that I've sort of done, I think my branding as a channel is developing. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you watch a YouTuber who does game content, they kind of have the thing, like, I know what to expect from this person. I know the kind of video that I'm going to get, and I might appreciate that, and I just, like, that's a known quantity, right? That's their brand, what to expect. And I think my brand is developing, and I'm picking this up just based on, you know, people's comments, which again I appreciate a lot, that my brand is becoming known for deep and detailed videos. And I don't think I would have it any other way. I mean, you know, my unboxing videos are pretty light, they're quick, they're just sort of getting that out in front of people so they see what's in the box, like all unboxing videos, you know, and I try to add context if I can, or add some additional detail, but those are pretty quick. But when it comes to, like, the videos on specific games, I'm going to a level of detail that a lot of folks don't. They're either giving feedback at the end of a turn or after a game as a session report, or showing bits and pieces of a game. But with what I've been doing with the Dark series, which is, here's a turn, I'm going to play the turn, I'm going to show you parts of the results of the turn as we're going through it, so you see each activation's result. I think folks are appreciating that. and that in addition to just playing it, I'm also describing my thoughts along the way, and I think that really helps people understand, what is playing this game really like? Is it, let's see, with the Dark Valley, are the decisions that I'm trying to make, the things that I'm concerned about, does that feel true to the subject matter? And is this a game with enough meat for me, or is it too much meat and I should look at something else? I think people appreciate that. I know a lot of folks can't do that, right? Like, you're giving up free time if you're going to sit there and watch an hour-long video that I've produced. I get that, right? I can see why somebody says, I don't think I could watch your videos, or this is not a good use of my time. I get that, for sure. But I think there are folks that do appreciate it, and if that's the niche I'm going to fill, I think that's cool. I want to be able to do that, because I like deep and detailed analysis. I like consuming it. I obviously like creating it where I can. And that feels like the right fit for me in terms of, what can you expect in videos to come. Now, because of that, it could very well mean that, we don't finish the Dark Valley for a while. And that's sort of been like their premiere video series that I've been doing over the last few months. I've done other smaller videos here and there covering a variety of different topics, but the Dark Valley's taken up a lot of my time. It's also taking up a lot of table space, and it's over here behind me, is where I usually do the game recording. But we'll eventually get to the point where we're done with that game. It may be, several months into 2020, I don't know, but that will open us up to be able to do other stuff. And I've got a huge list of games that I'd like to cover on the channel. I may not always do a full campaign of a game like I'm doing. The Dark Valley has turned out to just be a very big monster of a game, and it takes time to get through that. But there will be, other games that won't be so large that we can get into some deeper analysis for. And I do think, while I love CDGs, card-driven games, and I play a lot of them, I like a lot of them, I love them, I don't think I'll do too many videos on those types of games on the channel, because I think a lot of people have done videos for them elsewhere and they do a better job of it, probably. Like, I like Twilight Struggle, but so many people have done videos on Twilight Struggle that I don't think I'd have any value added, and I don't think I'm a shark or expert enough that it would be very valuable. But for things that are Hex Encounter and a lot more solitaire friendly, I can do a lot more of that in a vacuum, and I can do a lot more of that analysis on, an easier to consume basis, I think. So I'll look to do that. The other thing is, hey, I could do more World in Flames videos. That's always been the intention. And I could even look at doing actual World in Flames videos on camera. And, the only challenge there being that will also be a big time sink and will also take up my table space for the foreseeable future. But I've thought about interesting things I could do for World in Flames. Like, one idea is to do a European Theater of Operations game of World in Flames, not do Pacific, and do it as a classic game using these counters that I'm punching right now. And the reason why I look at that is because basically I've said in a number of other WIF videos, and I say it online a lot, that the basic classic game of World in Flames, just the classic game, which is what these 8 counter sheets support, is the base game of World in Flames, and it's a just fine game, right? Even though I play in once a month game that I'm playing with some buddies of mine, we're playing deluxe with all the expansions and all the crazy stuff that is out there. That's not for everybody, and it would take me forever to try to play through that on camera. But if I did Europe only, which is like, half the game or whatever, and I did the basic game, so fewer counters, that might be doable on camera. I could work my way through a European campaign with the classic counters. Again, only feasible because there's a lot fewer counters to deal with in a game that is just classic World in Flames. Alternatively, you know, and I think that would be a great, I think that would be a great game demonstration, because a lot of people haven't really seen like a beginning to end playthrough of World in Flames, so you just don't understand how to do it, right? I think Classic would be a good intro for people, and again, demonstrate that, yeah, without all the expansions, World in Flames Classic is a great game. It's on par in terms of complexity as a World at War, but it's a lot easier to learn, and here's how we do it. I think a lot of folks would appreciate that. Looks like I'm done punching all the Axis counters. Yeah, that's it, guys. Psh, classic whiff. That's it. Those are all the counters for the Axis. Now, there's lots of other stuff to punch, obviously, but that's the goodness. So I'm gonna stop punching counters here and just kind of talk through the rest of this video. The other thing I could do is maybe something with the Pacific only, but do it with Deluxe and all the extra rules and all the craziness. I think something went goofy with my camera, so I'm not sure where I got cut off, if I got cut off. But what I was saying was, you know, I could play through a Pacific game, and I'm going to have to stitch these recording clips together, I think, anyway. What I could do with the Pacific game is play with all the Deluxe stuff, all the options, and even play with the goofy optional rules like Intelligence, which is basically you spend production points on getting Intelligence, and that can help you re-roll dice or do certain things in the game. Without it, I'm having more issues with my video camera for some reason. Anyway, the Intelligence rule basically would provide the United States the ability to get a lot of these points and use them and probably smash the Japanese even harder, and that might be how you can get, you know, Midway and stuff like that. So anyway, I think I'll wrap this video up because my camera's being goofy on me. So, you know, all this to say, you know, I think 2019's been a pretty good year so far. We're going to close it out here over the next month and a half. In 2020, I think there's a lot more exciting stuff to come to the channel, and yet I'm having another problem with my camera. Gosh. Anyway, the point is, lots of games, lots of stuff to cover. We will get to it. If you've been sticking with the channel, you've been with the channel for a while, I appreciate your continued presence and viewership. If you're new to the channel, hopefully this big long ramble isn't a turn-off, but like I said, this is a video with a specific purpose in mind, which is just to ramble on through as I got some fun free time to punch some counters. You know, hopefully you guys will see content that you like and will share the channel out with others. Well, something keeps going wrong with the camera, so I'm trying to finish up. I just want to say thanks for watching, guys. Sorry for all the problems at the end of this video. Again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys are looking forward to more content on the channel. I'm punching lots of counters, as you can see. In any case, we'll catch you next time, guys. Looking forward to 2020 and more videos to come here towards the end of the year. Hope you enjoy. We'll catch you next time.